So we came out here to Toby's honey hole to show you one of the original Whitetail Group blinds that we sell and shed hunt. And one of the things you notice different from the premium models right off the bat is the door is just, it's all framed with the same type of siding. And this window, instead of having the aluminum framed in window, it's just framed in. And we got this piece of angle iron on the bottom that helps keep the weather out of there. It's all caulked in, and a nice spot for those straps to go through when you're trailering. You got the blind elevators. It's another difference. And again, we like using that because it allows us to be really flexible with our setups. This blind is on uneven ground, so it helps you to be able to get it level easier. It also keeps it low, like we were talking about. This is basically how we do our ladders in the past for some people that wanted metal platforms. I've used some other brand platforms like the Shadow Hunters or whatever, made up to the bottom of this really well at 8 feet. All the same strategy applies in the original Whitetail Group blind and the premium. As far as the siding is all black. It's LP Smart side. The inside is black. The windows are glass, dark frames, matte vinyl blackout film on the outside, so that when you open and close that window, there's no reflection, no flash. They're 100% scent free, caulked in. They come with the carpets. So on the original Whitetail Group blind, the door is all framed, and it's got the same material as the rest of the outside of the blind on the outside, LP Smart side. The door latch system uses a triple latch mechanism, top, bottom, and center. That keeps that door sucked in really tight to the weather stripping, so that no air gets out, and keeps it super scent free. All right, so as you can see in Toby's blind, he's left these rear windows uncut out, and then he's cut these out, you know, a little bit different on each window depending on what he needs to see. Obviously, he needs to see the most this direction, or at least he feels like he needs to. They all still glass windows in the original Whitetail Group blind, so that you get that one clasp seals it, because it's rigid. You can wipe these windows late season if they get foggy and they don't scratch up. And so again, like when I was explaining, is if I need to see right there, I'll just open this up and use that razor blade, cut that and unseal it. Everybody does it a little differently. There's been times where I've taken the whole film off of one center window and just planned on not opening that or whatever. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the strategy of why you might want a box blind. So everything is a tool: a ladder stand, a big, heavy, comfy lock-on, a lightweight hang and hunt lock-on, and a box blind. They're all tools that you need at different times. I love being in a tree stand. However, there are times of the season where your odds are dramatically higher in a box. The month of October, let's say you got 4 days out of the month that are high pressure front and really high odds of getting that buck that's been hitting your food plot at night there in daylight. Let's say hypothetically probability says 2 of those days the wind is wrong or marginal. By having a scent-free box, it ups your odds, because you could be there all 4 of those days. The wind might be marginal, but your scent is contained, and maybe you know that last light the thermals are going to pull into this hole. Another thing about October, notoriously, October has thermals come into a big play, and sometimes, you know, it's not to your advantage. You might have a perfect wind, and then at prime time the thermals are pulling them somewhere you don't want them to. And also light and variable winds when that sun goes down, which has to do with the thermals, and you can really beat that and beat a deer's nose with the scent-free box. Late season, you might have 100 eyeballs in front of you, frigid cold, and it just keeps you in the game, and it ups your odds that by the time he steps out later in the evening, you haven't busted the field. Some obvious things. Another huge part of the strategy with box blinds is, especially when it comes to designing and developing a farm, we use a lot of switchgrass to shape a food plot and create perfect ingress and egress. And having a box allows you to do all that and be or hunt in exactly the spot that you want to, not in a spot that you're given. You know, it works, it's the only tree available, so you're going with it. That dramatically ups your odds. Again, both the blinds have the same, deer strategy functional package, which is 100% scent free, blackout inside, outside, the matte vinyl so that you can get that window open. And we just had a ton of success out of these blinds and tweaked and tailored over the years. So that wraps up the original Whitetail Group blind. These are sold out of Mount Sterling, Illinois, picked up $31.50 out the door. Again, I tell people these things are like military grade. They're functional. We've tweaked and tweaked and tweaked lots of little things for the end goal of upping your chances of putting a big deer in bow range and getting an arrow shot at them. So if you're interested, just shoot us an email and we'll send you an invoice and get you on the list for one.